is a KY3 Storm Team weather alert.
Be advised, some of these strong winds are going to move into your area before the rain gets to you. So in other words, the stronger winds are on the leading edge of this signature that you see right here, and they're actually moving into Branson. So there's likely to be some very strong winds in Branson. And when we've been watching our tower camera, there's actually still some boats out on the lake. So if you're watching me now and you know somebody that's out on the lake in a boat, call them, get them to dock, any dock, get them off the lake very quickly.
This is a KY3 and KSPR News special report.
Hi there, I'm Ethan Forhetz. We're following breaking news right now in Taney County, a major rescue operation underway on Table Rock Lake, where an amphibious boat has apparently capsized and sunk. It happened during a fierce storm that brought winds well above 50 miles per hour. This is being called a mass casualty event by authorities there. It doesn't necessarily mean fatalities, but they're calling it a mass casualty event. Mandy Rogers provided some of the first photos of this scene, and she told us that down here CPR was being performed on one of the victims. That's from her seeing it firsthand. Let's take a look at the tower cam now, and we've been watching this throughout the evening, and we've seen, there it is, we can see a shot, and to your top right, there's a little island out there, which is near the Branson Belle. You can see that the top two kind of smokestacks sticking out above the trees to the right, and that is the Branson Belle, we believe.
Breaking news.
Tragedy on Table Rock Lake tonight when a Ride the Ducks boat capsized with 31 people on board. We know now there are fatalities, and divers are in the water right now looking for people who are still missing.
Authorities believe the boat was caught in a strong thunderstorm and was overturned by straight-line winds. Take a look now at the first pictures coming in from the scene down there. Firefighters and paramedics on the shore, boats out in the water, divers searching for victims.
Right now, they're looking to see if there are more people in the water. Now, the Stone County Sheriff says right now they are trying to figure out how many people are missing. 31 people were on the boat, but the sheriff won't give us a number yet on how many people were killed. We continue to follow breaking news. The search continues tonight on Table Rock Lake. This was video a little bit earlier before the sun went down of crews searching for people who may have been aboard a duck boat that capsized and went under the water to the bottom of the lake at Table Rock.
We have 8 confirmed fatalities. TCAD has transported 7 patients to the hospital, and we do have some people still missing.
And the boat turned over and sank, is that what happened?
That is correct. It capsized and sank.
Do you know if all the fatalities and injuries are believed to be because of drowning?
Yes.
Boy, it is a tragic night on Table Rock Lake. We just found out that the number of fatalities is the first time we've heard a number of fatalities, and that number is 8. And there are people, an unknown number of people, still missing at this point. And I think we have some different video now we're seeing for the first time. This is from the other duck boat. This is from there were 2 duck boats in that video. This is from the first duck boat. This is the one that actually made it to shore. Paul Lemus sent us this video, and you can see just how awful that ride had to be for those folks.
Yeah, they don't look like they're in distress. You can see them laughing. They don't know how very serious this is. But there's the showboat Branson Belle. And we know that the sheriff has even mentioned there is a lot of video out there of this happening.
Tragic news out of Branson tonight. 8 people are confirmed dead after a Ride the Ducks boat sank in Table Rock Lake. An unknown number of people still missing right now.
They're out there on the lake looking for people who were on the duck boat and who have still not been found.
And we have team coverage of this deadly event. Taylor Frost is live outside City Hall in Branson, where families have been told to go if they know they had loved ones on that Ride the Ducks boat.
But first, we go to Caitlin Sinnett, who is live near that scene there at the lake. She joins us from the staging area.
We are at the White River Landing near where the showboat Branson Belle normally docks. And just to confirm, showboat Branson Belle was not involved in this. We know 31 people were on board. This happened around 7 when the heavy storm came through the Branson area, and the sheriff doesn't know how many people are missing. Family members are asked to go to Branson City Hall, where Taylor is right now, if they believe someone is missing.
So I was in the showboat, and I didn't see them fall over, but we all knew that one of them rolled or whatever it may be. Yeah, I saw 2 people would be way off in the distance, so we were at the front of the boat, and they were way off in the distance. I believe they may be actual workers that jumped in after others trying to save them.
we want to show you this. This is video of what the water looked like on Table Rock Lake when about the same time as that storm was rolling through and that duck boat capsized and sank to the bottom of the lake. Those are some real waves.
Yeah, we know that there was a thunderstorm warning that was issued at 6:32 for Table Rock Lake. And this is just a little bit of what it looked like. But we heard that there were straight line winds that were amazing out there.
And we're just putting our team in there. We practice for this sort of thing, these disaster drills, so our team is well prepared for this type of incident.
And this video comes to us from Jenny Phillips Hudson Carr, shot from the Branson Belle this evening. Let's roll it, and we'll see it together.
Oh, those poor people. Oh, my gosh. Poor guys. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
This was going on just a little after 7 o'clock this evening. You can see the waters were so rough, the wind was so heavy, and the boat was just listing there.
Oh, man, that is horrific to watch. And these are the waves that capsized that duck boat with 31 people on board. We don't have the question answered yet about life jackets, whether anybody was wearing a life jacket, how accessible they were. Wow, that is our first video. We're posting that at ky3.com as well.
Ethan, divers are still in the water tonight, and they'll be here all night and into tomorrow, according to the sheriff, looking for people who may have been on that boat.
Of those 30, you said 31 people on the boat, 5 people still missing, 11 people were killed, and 7 were transported to the hospital. So with my math, that's 23. So does that mean that 8 people were saved, or
we had several people that made it out safely? Yes.
It's kind of like a fight or flight thing. It's just another experience. It's out of this world. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, I don't know.
A tragedy on Table Rock Lake. 11 dead after a duck boat got caught in high winds.
And this is a picture of the radar starting at 6:30 p.m. last night. There was a thunderstorm warning that went into effect at 6:32. Our meteorologists say the wind was out, not just on the front end of this storm, but out ahead of it.
Some terrible news that we just got, which was that the 2 more bodies have been recovered this morning here at Table Rock Lake in Branson, bringing that death toll to 13.
Federal investigators with the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, say they are sending their GO team to Table Rock Lake this morning. They're going to try to figure out exactly what caused this accident. Again, 13 dead, the youngest 1 year old, the eldest 70 years old after this tragic accident. People really around the country and the world talking about their condolences this morning. They received a reaction from the president this morning saying, "May God be with you all."
At this time, we have 13 confirmed fatalities. Missouri Highway Patrol dive team recovered 2 more bodies last night. Missouri Highway Patrol dive team is going back in the water this morning to try to recover the 4 that we still have missing.
This is the storm, though, that eventually made it to the Branson area in Table Rock Lake, and it had warnings on it the duration of the day as it marched to the southeast. Here's the warning at 6:15. It was in the Springfield area, and at 6:32, that warning came out from the National Weather Service. High winds, they hit Table Rock Lake almost exactly at 7 p.m., and there was a severe thunderstorm warning.
You know what that's for? Charge!
Duck boats are popular entertainment rides all over the world, but with 39 people dying in accidents in them over the past 20 years, the safety of these World War II-era amphibious vehicles has been called into question many times, including 1999, when the Miss Majestic rapidly sank into Lake Hamilton in Arkansas, killing 13 of its 21 passengers. 7 were found inside, and the NTSB report said contributing to the high loss of life was a continuous canopy roof that entrapped passengers. And even though all boats are required to have life jackets aboard, like these stowed beneath the canopy, the report said the passengers' buoyancy forced them into the overhead canopy, which acted like a net to entrap them. At the time of the Arkansas disaster, then NTSB Chairman Jim Hall said, "The bottom line is, why are these boats still being used? These boats are not designed for recreational use, especially with large numbers of people and weather like this." The NTSB report on the Arkansas case also recommended that canopies on duck boats be removed when they enter the water. But the Coast Guard did not follow that recommendation. As you saw in the video of the Branson sinking, the duck boats were covered.
The Miss Majestic event in Arkansas is one that they're probably going to be looking at what they saw there to understand some of those issues are the same. They found that canopy on the duck boat made it harder for people to get out of the sinking boat.
Tragedy on Table Rock Lake. 17 people now confirmed dead. 9 of those victims from the same family.
17 lives gone. The youngest, a 1-year-old baby. The oldest, a 70-year-old grandparent. Families here on vacation setting out on beautiful Table Rock Lake when the weather, as we know, took a terrible turn.
The wind was coming from the northwest.
Just across the lake from where that duck boat capsized, small business owner Rick Kettles watched the storm of a lifetime roll into Table Rock Lake.
The waves were just crazy. They were, I'm guessing, somewhere, 5 to 7 feet high.
Duck boats hold 30 passengers, 1 to 2 crew members. We know yesterday's Ride the Duck boats had 2 crew members on board. On the Ride the Duck boats in Branson, the life jackets are stored above the passengers, above their heads right here in compartments here. They have sizes for adults and for kids. There's also only one entrance and exit from the boat, and that is the back ramp right here. And there is a canopy that comes over the top that can make it difficult to get out in a situation like we had yesterday.
Paul Lemus and his family of 7 were on another duck out on the water when the storm hit. They took this video while heading back to shore. He says when the wind and waves picked up, they turned around early. He now feels very fortunate they made it back. They saw another duck on the water but lost sight of it. Then later heard about the accident.
We're praying for those families, and I'm sure they came to Branson just like we did, looking to have a good time, spend some good family quality time. And it's just it's really sad, and it's just an awful feeling to know that they're not going to make it back home.
Wade Johnson and his wife Melissa were vacationing in Branson, waiting to board the Branson Belle showboat when the storm came through. Wade, an emergency room nurse, performed CPR on some of the victims.
It didn't quite register right away as to what had happened, so I kind of stepped outside and was looking in the water, and that's when I saw the people in the water, and then it kind of hit me that it was one of those Ride the Ducks tourist boats that had capsized with people in it. The people from the Branson Belle were trying to pull people out of the water and throw them life jackets and all kinds of stuff.
It's very eerie just to see these life jackets floating and life rings floating and nobody in them.
I'm so sad for the families, and I ask everyone to pray. We are with them 100%.
Broken hearts and stories of heroism tonight as the investigation continues into the tragedy at Table Rock Lake.
We begin tonight with more details on the 17 victims killed in last night's accident. Those who died ranged in age from 1 to 70. There are reports that a family from Indianapolis are among those killed, as well as a couple from St. Louis.
They say a major part in their investigation will be looking into if anyone was warned about the weather beforehand. They do intend to salvage the boat in the next couple of days and to examine it for their investigation.
It is that canopy and the fact that it's not like a normal boat. You can't just dive off every side. That is so challenging when a vehicle like this gets flooded.
Lisa, you can see behind me a large crowd gathering. Candles are beginning to be lit. And lots of locals and tourists alike are just coming together.
Investigators with the NTSB say they'll likely have a probable cause statement about a year from now. Behind me is a look right now live in Branson at the Ride the Ducks. They are on dry land here in Branson, but elsewhere across the country, they are actually still operating with tourists.
The NTSB just held a news conference a little bit ago. I was there, and they say they were able to recover a recorder from one of the other boats, and it's actually being sent to Washington, D.C. for processing. They also hope to have that boat pulled out of the water by early next week.
Frances Tia Coleman lost her husband and all 3 of her children in that tragedy, and she says the captain of the boat said they wouldn't need their life jackets, even though the life jackets were sitting right above them.
When that water came over the boat, I didn't know what happened. Water filled up the boat. I could no longer see. I couldn't feel anybody. I couldn't see. I just remember, I gotta get out. I gotta get out.
Tia Coleman says at first, nothing seemed to be wrong, but that quickly changed.
The water was splashing. It was so hot. We thought this was just great, the water splashing. But when a big swell came in, that's when I got nervous. And then the next big swell is what I didn't know the boat capsized. I thought it went under. So when that next big swell came in, I did go under.
31 people fell into the waters of Table Rock Lake after a duck boat sank on Thursday evening.
As I was swimming up, I was praying. I said, Lord, please, let me get to my babies. I got to get to my babies. I got to get to my babies. And I was kicking in it. The harder I fought to get up to the top, I was getting pulled down.
Tia finally managed to make it to the surface.
Oh my God, they were jumping in, saving people. They were throwing life rafts out to everybody, but I couldn't reach it. I couldn't get there in time. And so somehow I managed to get to the boat. These beautiful people, angels, I don't know who they were. They pulled me up. And when they pulled me up from the boat, I didn't see any of my family.
Tia lost 9 members of her family, including her husband and 3 small children.
It was said that that there are life jackets, but don't worry, you will not need them. And we were never told after that to grab them. If I was able to get a life jacket, I could have saved my babies, because they could have at least floated up to the top and somebody could have grabbed them. And I wasn't able to do that.
Her life will never be the same.
Based on what me and my family went through, I never want to be on any boat ever again in my life.
Tonight, many flowers and lit candles line the walk outside of Ride the Ducks. Tourists and locals alike still grieving the tragic boat accident Thursday night.
Cody Workman says he was a welder for Ride the Ducks from 2010 to 2013 under Herschend Entertainment.
We make parts for Seattle, for Boston, for all over the place, and I do all the repairs on the ducks.
Here's video he took of himself on the job.
That's what I welded for a fuel tank, for the bottom part where it drains and pickup and all that. Pretty cool, huh?
Workman says the public never got to experience his most important project.
We was working on something that could have helped prevent that.
He says he was assigned to build a prototype for what he calls a safer duck boat. The canopy lifts up so no one is trapped.
Windows here, your canopy's here. It'd be on an air or electric or manual operating to open it. But when you open either side, it'd be on shocks, and the top would come up and this side would fall off in the water, giving you as much room as you needed to jump out.
Life jackets are not above. They're next to you.
Your life jackets would be down here on the right-hand side of you. You can pick those up, put those on, and immediately stand up and be able to get out.
Stephen Paul, owner of Test Drive Technologies, was hired by Ripley's Entertainment to inspect the duck boats when they were bought from Ride the Ducks International. Paul called the boats, quote, a death trap, and would not let even his own family ride them.
I do know in 1999 with the accident that happened down in Arkansas, the canopy is a big issue, the curtains are a big issue, and they also recommended that the curtains be raised when the duck goes in the water, and obviously that's not the case.
I guess just closure.
They're visiting Branson for their 4th time and had planned to ride the ducks on Friday. They already had tickets.
It's only by God's grace, I'm sure. Yeah, because we would have been the next day.
In the wake of the tragedy, former employees at Ride the Ducks tell us the decision of whether or not to go out on the water is the captain's call.
The captains go through extensive training. I mean, they're professionals. You know, they're professional captains. They are certified by the Coast Guard. And, you know, it's their decision right then and there to say, you know, it's a captain's decision.
Jim Wilson is grappling with the why an experienced 16-year captain would take the chance.
At 6:30, I was watching the news. KY3 came on. Ron Hurst said, but you guys have a camera set up by the Showboat Branson Belle. And Ron Hurst came out and said, I can see boats on the lake right now. If you know those people on the lake and they have cell phones, call them up on the phone and tell them to get off the lake.
It's definitely a combined effort and a lot of coordination.
That started with an impressive parade of equipment needed to pull the Ride the Ducks boat wreckage out of the bottom of Table Rock Lake. But that was just the start. Getting the barge on the water and positioned just right was another feat.
We have to use the human factor and just try to judge prop thrust and prop direction and to try to hold it in place.
The massive metal island is not only heavy, but packs a lot of power. To give you an idea of just how strong this equipment is, this winch here with these cables hooked up to that crane can lift 100,000 pounds of weight out of the water. Now, to understand what that may look like, it's about the same weight of 15 of these boats.